Alright guys, we're back here. So, went ahead and opened up the part file here. So a couple things we can do. We could actually program it from this side here. If we look at it here, we can get the profile and stuff, but I'm not worried about that. What I want to do is I want to rotate this thing. So I'm going to come up here to Utilities and then Rotate. I'm just going to window select over it, or I can do Control A, and I want to rotate it around Y 90 degrees. So I'm going to hit 90 right here. There's my preview. I'm going to go OK it and then cancel it. Now from here, I'm going to go into Control 1 or top view, and I'm going to come over here to layers because I want to add a new layer for my lathe at least profile. And actually, I'm going to show you guys two of them here. So I'm going to add two layers here. I'm going to call this one section view. And I don't know why it's all caps, but that's okay for right now. And then I'm going to make another view here, and I'm going to call this Spun Profile. All right, so let's go ahead and do a section view. So this is all under Create 2D. I'm going to do what's called a section view. Now you can see here, if I look in my data entry here, I don't have anything selected, but it's already got a preview, and it's starting off at distance of 0, X and Y of 0. Distance is your Z of how far it's going to come up. I'm going to get this a nice metric view. So if I wanted to get a section view of this, this would be what I want. I could, distance it up maybe 0.2, and get a different view of it on there if I needed to. Or let's make you at 0. I can rotate it around, 3 degrees, whatever. I'm going to make it at 0. So I'm just going to create wireframe here and then reset and cancel. Now, the one thing I do want to look at is when I do create that section view here, I want to make sure I get whatever 2D geometry on there. So I can see I have it right here. So that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that one. And I'm going to do a Spun Profile. Now this one, I'm going to select everything, and I can pick, individual surfaces that I want to do. I want to do this in an X direction, depending on which direction my Z, or, my part actually, I want it to go in a Z or X, whatever. So in this case, it's an X. And then all I need to do is sit there and say, OK, and cancel. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring both of those two up, and I'm going to put the check mark in there. So now I'm going to look at this in a top view here and kind of zoom in on it. So here's my section view. You can see two things it did. It made a top and a bottom. The bottom I don't need. Now you'll notice that I'll have to close this off. And if I look at my part here, you can see what happened. If I would have rotated it, I probably would have gotten it right, on this side, because that's my highest point. That's what I need, is that highest point. So again, I'd have to, either rotate the part and redo it again, or know that distance and draw it up there. With the Spun Profile, you can see it only creates just what I need for a lathe portion of it, because I got it set up right where I want it to be. If I look at it with the solid model on there, you'll notice it closes that off basically. It moved this up higher. It's looking at the highest point. So basically what it does is it spins it around in the background really fast and creates that 2D geometry that we need, the proper one. This is really good to use if you got, complex geometry, and this is not too bad. I know if I would have turned that, rotated it around X, maybe 22.5, I would have gotten a proper geometry on there. But just to show you with this, you got two options in there, either using, section view or Spun Profile. You can see right here, there's my extra geometry that it created for me. So I'd have to know that curve and everything in there. So the section view is not the one I want to use. I want to use a profile on there. So again, I'm going to go ahead and use bring up the solid model here. I'm going to come up here to CAM and then New Job. And I'm going to turn off the wireframe for right now. And I'm going to go Mill Turn, PC, one turret, one spindle, hit Stock Wizard. I'm going to select my solid model for my workpiece. I'm going to hit Next. And I'm going to use Cylinder, and I'm going to just come right down here and go X direction, and then Bounding Box, and Calculate Stock. And for this example, I'm just going to leave it as is. Not going to mess with anything else. I'm going to hit Next. And again, I want to turn my X direction right here, and my Y right there. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I don't have to do any extra maneuvering. And my offset, I mean, this is stuff that you're just going to have to do, you know, right down in the road. You can see how quick you can start going through all this. Let's go 12 inches off the turret. And then just click OK. Now from here, I'm going to blank out my stock because that's what I like to do. And I'm going to bring back my 2D geometry because now we're just going to go ahead and we're not going to worry about doing a facing. We'll just do a profile. In fact, we're not even going to worry about the grooving on this one. What I want to do is go into picking geometry for milling side of it, really. So we're going to go Machine Setup 1, Turn Feature, Late Turning, Geometry. And I'm going to zoom in here, so I'm going to select that, come all the way around to this point right here, hold my shift key down and left click, and there we go. And I'm going to hit Next. We're going to do an OD from stock, should be fine. Hit Next. We're going to do a rough and finish. Everything's good there. I'm going to hit Tool or Tool Crib. And we're just going to use the default tool that we have in here. And I'm going to go -6. And I'm going to use the same rough and finish tool. So you can see I'm going to do standard with collision detection, use tool holder, check for tool holder. That should be fine for right now. Everything I'm going to leave pretty much at default on this. Yeah, let's just, nope, let's go vertical up. There we go. Everything looks good. We're going to use the same tool for the finishing pass here. Again, not doing anything too crazy. On with collision detection. Excuse me. Everything should be good. You can see how you can just almost kind of whiz right through it. And we'll just hit compute, just get our tool path. Because what I really want to get into is really doing the so that looks pretty good. And I just want to double check a few things. Yeah, because I'm going from stock. Oh, let's remove primary undercut there. There we go. And something's not right in here. So we got OD, did it from stock, good. With collision detection. Yeah, I didn't change really anything in here. Seeing something I'm not liking there. If I go from geometry. Okay. That worked. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I want the highest point of the geometry on that one instead of from stock on there because it did stop, and you'll notice that my final pass actually goes right here, my finish pass. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, so that was my fault there. No big deal. So we're going to go ahead and blank this out, shrink it up, and we're going to turn that off, and we're going to bring up our part file here. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to select these holes. Now I'm not worried about the center hole. That's more for, if you really want to do it, we could. But I just want to show you more of the milling side of this. So we're going to go mill, drill hole, select geometry. Now I'm going to select the insides here of each one of them. That's going to give me my diameter plus my depth. So that's good. So we're going to go ahead and say next. Now I can come in here and break the hole groups if I want. I'm not too worried about that. We're going to leave them as is. We're just, it's just going to drill, rotate, drill, rotate, drill, rotate for us. From here, we're going to do a hole with center drill and drill. Optimize is fine. We're not worried about anything else in there. We're going to do long and code here. You could also do a y-axis if your machine is set up for a y on there. And again, you're going to have to know that for our posting guys to create a post processor for you if you have y-axis mode set on your machine. But with this example, we're going to just do longhand code. Multi-axis posting, again, don't mess with that. And then we get into the drilling. Now, it's just like setting up for any milling mill drill operation, but the only difference is in the tool selection. You got to come in here, set this up. Yeah, that should be good right there. Don't need to rotate it or anything because we're not doing any cross milling. We'll do that in the next example. We'll hit OK, and then we'll next. You got here your depth, your center diameter, and your center angle. You can set those up as needed. And if you need to, you can do either a depth with a peck or fast peck if you choose to do so. From there, we go ahead and hit next. We get into our MDIs if you need to set those up. And then from there, we hit next. We get into our drill. Now, it already knows what, it doesn't matter what your hole size is. It's going to pick up that size drill. So if it's an odd size that's not in the library at all or you don't have set up, it will pick it up anyways. So in this case, it's a 1/4 inch. We're going to go tool crib. We're going to take that 1/4 inch and we're going to bring it up. And I'm just going to put it in station 5. And when it's yellow, that means it's selected. If it's blue, it's not selected. Again, we're right where we need to be. And then from there, we're just going to do a pack on there, and we're just going to leave the default. And then we'll hit next and get into our MDIs. And then compute. And there you go. Now, I've already made a mistake in here. And you can see it. And that's why I wanted to do it that way. So I will have to break these holes. So I'm going to come in here and edit. I'm just going to start from here. Machine sequence, posting, feature. That's where I want to be at. And we're going to break the hole groups. Now we got 6 different hole groups here now. I'm going to come up here to the group retract. And it's not much. We don't have to go 1 inch. Let's go let's go 2.5. Nope, let's go 0.5. Let's do a 1/2 inch retract on there. So every time it comes out now, and then from there, let's just hit next and then compute. So right initially it was only going 0.1 above the part, so it's right here initially. So if we go into the feature, feed plane, 0.1, we can actually change this maybe to 0.25. And you can see it's going 2.5 above the part here. Actually, it's right past your home position here, or your 0. That's where it's coming off at, 1/4 inch off here. On there. So if we did a 1/2 inch or 1 inch, it'd be right out to here on that. So again, you can set this up the way you need to on there. You could do 0 or you could do, something smaller. So now when we, let's see, we'll just blank that out for right now. Shrink you up. And we're going to do one more thing here. We're going to go in and do a profile around there. So we're going to do, yep. So I don't know the distance in here. I could find that out real quick. If I go to evaluate, measure 2, I measure here to here. I'm looking about, okay, so we can use a 1/2-inch tool, should be fine. That's the green, so that's a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch should work on there. Okay, not a problem. So I just found the distance from the flat part to the highest point, which is right up here. So what we're going to do is mill 2 axes, select geometry. I'm going to hover over this edge here and do a constant Z. You can see it picked up all the way around that hex, which is good. I'm going to change my top of feature, which I'm going to choose pick here. And I'm going to choose that as my top. And then my total depth, I'm going to choose there. Now this is real nice with 34, especially with the snap points that we have. We used to, on a solid model, it used to be just on a solid model, picking snap points on one end or the other. Now we have a center on there. That was a good request, whoever asked for that out there in the world. So now again, it's just setting up just like a regular 2-axis toolpath here. We're just going to do a rough pass. That should be fine. It could just be a finish pass. Again, we're going to use longhand code on this one. Arc moves, offsets, everything's now set up for like a 2-axis mill here. Let's go into the tool crib, and we're going to move you to station 7 here, and we're going to change tools. Say yes to that. And let's see, I got a 625 in here, so we're going to hit diameter to reshuffle everything. So now it's in order here. So we're going to pick this one right here, 5/8. Yeah, that's all it needs to be. And there it is right there in yellow. We don't need to change the orientation. And we'll just OK that. Then we'll hit next. We're going to do system comp left. That should be fine for right now. We can always change it. You have an option here for standard cut. Contour ramping keeps tool totally engaged, or you can do side roughing. We're going to do standard here. And then we're going to go ahead and hit next, and we're going to do 0 allowance. And we're going to do multiple steps here. So that's a 1/2 inch. Let's go 0.125. We'll do it in 4 steps there. Everything else I'm going to pretty much leave alone on here. Corner type should be fine. Closest, so we're only doing 1. Not worried about advanced feed rates. And then we got our MDIs. And then we just hit compute. Now, again, we got this in the wrong direction here. So what I'm going to do is right-click on geometry. I'm going to click on profile chain box. Now there's my start and finish. I don't want it there. I'm going to change it to right here. Oops. Bear with me here. My computer is going to crash here. Bear with me. We do have an auto save in the software. Now, this was a good mistake that happened here. Obviously, when you do see this in the future, you're not going to see the actual lag time there. But there was a few minutes there. I just paused it. But anyways, it was a good learning experience here. So I'm going to go here, open up that file again. I didn't save anything out, so I don't have anything saved out. So I'm just going to go through the motions here again. So I'm going to go to rotate 90. We'll say OK. And now I'm not going to go through everything over again. I'm just going to go into add new layer. We'll call it Spun Profile. And we'll go into Create 2D. Spun Profile, window select over it, say OK, and cancel. And I'm going to come up here and hit save. So we're that far. And I'm going to blank out my 2D geometry. I'm going to go into CAM. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to come here. I'm going to do a little extra in here. Take the extra step here, go to clean up and optimize. Window select over everything. Looks pretty good. Made some corrections. So that may have been my issue. But I couldn't tell you. Oh, you can see I got some more corrections. And that's the best part of it. With this clean up and optimize, you're going to, okay, so now we're down to that. Okay, no problem. So it actually cleaned up that. That used to be segmented lines, so it just cleaned up and optimized that into one line and broke those up into bigger, condensed those. Okay, so we're a lot better now. Okay, so let's eyeball on and off and go to CAM, new job, mill turn, one turret, one spindle, stock wizard, got you, hit next. You're going to use cylinder, X direction, bounding box, calculate stock. We'll hit next, X direction, Y, 12 inches. I know it's a little extreme. And let's blank out the stock and save. All right, so let's go ahead and bring up the 2D geometry. We're going to turn, select geometry. So from here to here. And we're going to go from geometry, primary undercut, next. We'll do a rough and finish. Select, and again, I'm just going to use the default tool in here. Let's put it in station 1. Come out 6 inches, minus 6, because we're going the other direction of the arrow there. Let's see, on with collision detection, check tool holder. Everything else is good. Again, I'm not doing anything pretty. Oh, let's go sharp on that. Advanced feed rates, MDIs. Pick tool again. We're going to use the same one. Next, on with collision detection. Use tool holder. And let's see, I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to use vertical lead out. I'm going to hit all operations, so that should be good. Good. And we're going to blank out, shrink up, and save. So we're down that far. See, I'm using this as an auto. I'm using myself as a automatic save now, or auto save. So now we can go ahead and turn back to solid on. Get rid of this, and let's go ahead and go to mill, drill hole, select geometry, and there's no, there we go, standard drill. Let's hit next. Let's break the whole group. Let's make you 0 for the fun of it. We'll hit next. We're going to do center drill and drill. Everything's good. We're going to use longhand code, of course. Everything's good. We need to set up our tools. So again, that's just a matter of setting them in there and pretty much just walking it through. I'm not worried about a pack on this one. MDIs are fine. Drill, 1/4 inch. Let's go 4. Should be fine. Let's peck that. Need to do this for every one of them. So if you do break the whole groups, you're going to have to go in and set these all up the same way. Good. So let's go ahead and blank that out, shrink you up, and save you out. Done. So the next one we're going to do, again, we're going to go mill feature, mill 2-axis, select geometry. Now I'm going to hover over this edge right here because that's a nice flat edge. Right click, I'm going to do a constant Z. And it should just constant Z all the way around the part. Now my top of feature, I'm going to choose, that's my widest point. And my total depth, I'm just going to go right into the center here. There we go. And then just walk it all the way through. So again, there's our, we'll do a profile rough and finish. Longhand code, arc moves fine. Multi-axis, don't worry about that. Let's choose a different tool. Change tool. And we'll hit diameter, reshuffle everything. And we're looking for the 5/8 long. And we're going to throw you up in position 6. That should be good. And let's see. Again, I didn't do that right, so we're gonna walk that through. So we're gonna do that in single step. Let's do 125. Next, everything should be good there. Corner types, machining sequence, we're fine with. Advanced feed rates are good. MDIs are also good too. Again, we're not going to get into MDIs. Our final pass, our finishing pass, we're going to use the same tool. You always got to select it. If not, it's going to choose something different. Then when you go into the simulation, it's going to give you an error because the tool's not set up right. They'll tell you the tool's not mounted correctly. So we just follow it all the way through. I'm going to use pretty much all default settings on this. And then compute. Notice again, I'm on the wrong side. So what I usually do, I could do a reverse direction, but I also want to change my direction. I could do it to the reverse direction and use modify, but I like to go back into geometry. I like to select my start point and change my direction. Then I'm going to OK that. Right click on feature 2-axis and compute the toolpath. There we go. So we should be good now. Now again, that's all I pretty much wanted to show you on that one. I'm going to go ahead and close that up and save it out. And let's go ahead and jump into simulation on this one. And you can see our part's way out there. Again, it probably won't be. I'm just being really extravagant on that to show you what that does within the simulation, because this is where our XYZ0 is on there. So we're actually just moving the part out in there. So let's kind of slow that down a little bit and let's go ahead and hit go. Go. Now you can see the turret moving as it's drilling. Now I've already seen a mistake I want to change. And you can probably see it already. I probably want to do the drill operation last. So I could either go in and change my tree around, or in this case I'm going to go ahead and hit stop simulation. I'm going to go into machining order here, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to just move that up there, and then this one up 2 spots. And now it's going to do the late turning, feature 2 axes, and then the holes. Unlike how I got it set up here, which I knew was going to happen. So again, I'm going to save it out, UBD autosave. We'll hit start simulation again, and then we'll just run it again. So now we're going to go into the profile cut. There we go. And you see the turret moving and everything. And that's going to take 3 passes. There's the next level. And it's almost done with the roughing there. And now we're going to go into final pass for the rough. Good. And now the final. And now we just come in and drill everything out. We're doing a center drill first. And you can see it's just coming out, rotate, out, and rotate. Now again, I'm doing a longhand code on here, so not every machine has a Y-axis mode on there. And that's it. So from there, we'll just hit stop simulation. We'll hit post, and there's all the G-code now for this. And I'll just go into NC Editor and show everybody. And there's all the code. Now, depending on how your post is set up and everything, you're going to have different options, especially in between tool changes right here. That kind of section in there, or null tool changes, that kind of stuff. And there's going into the flat end mill section. You got the M01 call out there. You got your M154 for C-axis. You got your 17 for the plane on there. Everything's, right there. Now, again, this may not be set up for your post, so again, this is just a generic one that we have set up in the software here. So any questions with that or anything? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this one out here. And let's go ahead and open up this mill turn 2. And you can see there's a lot going on in here. You got a pocket in here. We got some pockets around here. That's pretty much the only thing I'm really concerned about on here. I'm not worried about all this back here because we know how to, now we know how to cut, for a lathe portion of it and stuff. I'm just showing you different aspects of it. Now I'm going to do a turning operation in here, just get it down to stock for me. But the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and rotate this. So I'm going to go to Utilities, Rotate. And again, 90 degrees in Y. And we'll OK that and cancel. Now I'm going to come over here to Layers, and I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to use the Spun Profile again. And we'll go to Create 2D, Spun Profile, select everything. We'll OK and cancel it. There goes our 2D geometry, which is perfect. We'll come in here to utilities, clean up and optimize, and again, 3 corrections. Let's see if we get any more. Like I said, no harm, no foul on these 2. And none. Okay, good. So we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the 2D off, and we're going to hit save up to this point. Again, you're going to see me kind of hit save more often now. Mill turn, BT, 1 turret, 1 spindle, stock wizard. Select that. Hit next. You know what? Let's just go right to Gusto on this, and let's just pick our stock. Calculate it. Then we don't have to worry. Actually, no. Let's go back to cylinder. Because I want stock in there so you guys can see it cut out. We'll go 6 inches. Now again, if you guys have a tool crib already set up at this point, you want to right click, tool crib, load your tool crib in here. Okay, there's the load. In this case, we're not worried about that because we don't have one set up on here. So we're going to go in and we're going to do a turn feature. Select geometry. Let's go ahead and bring our 2D geometry back up. And let's see, I'm going to go from here all the way up to here. Okay, that. Again, we're going to do this from geometry. Not going to worry about that. That should be good. Let's do rough and finish as usual. Separate. Tool selection. Let's go here. And you know what? I'm going to use a different finish tool here. -6. And let's do -6 on this one. And that's our first tool right there. It's okay. On with collision detection, use tool holder. Should be fine. And again, let's see, previous cut, no overlaps, that should be fine. Sharp. Not worried about those. Let's do a vertical. Or you could do custom and go Z, 2 inches and up 1. That should be fine. Now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to hit apply to all operations. So I get it down here also. Empty eyes, finish pass. So let's go tool crib. We already got that set up. It's looking at that tool anyway, so that's good. And again, we're just going to put collision detection on. It's just something I was taught, coming into mill turn. Everything looks good. Let's compute you. Now you're going to see a little gap right here because the tool can't fit down that far. So yep, that's doing exactly what I told it to do. Excellent. Not what I really wanted to do on there. So I'm going to go edit and I'm going to go into the leads. And let's see. Yeah, we're just going to do a vertical on there and we'll go 0.2. Apply to all operations and then we just hit compute. There we go. Oh, totally fine. Because that's all I really wanted to get on there. Everything should be fine from there. So now let's go ahead and bring this back up. And let's go ahead and do a milling operation. We'll start in here. So we're going to go mill 2-axis. Now we're not going to get into 3-axis here. Now I'm going to pick, I can pick the inside edge or outside edge. I'm just going to pick the floor here. And my top of feature, again, is going to be right here. And my bottom, I'm going to choose the bottom floor right there. 375. Perfect. And there's our extension. There's our feature page of feature parameters if you need to set those up. We're going to do a pocketing. Profile finish is totally fine. Again, we're not worried about tabs. We'll do this in longhand code. Machine. So now we're going to come in here and we're going to do we're going to go to 5 and we're going to change you to a 1/4 inch. Whoops. Change tool. Let's hit diameter here and we're going to go 1/4 inch long, should be fine. Yeah, that's good. Pocketing, we're going to use standard here. You also have an option here for advanced, which is going to add in more spiral, adaptive roughing, and also your rest roughing in here. Not worried about that. We're just going to do standard here. We're going to do pocket out. So we're going to start from the center and work our way out. We're going to move this down to 30%. Everything should be good here, and I'm going to go 0.375 divided by 3 because I'm going to do 3 steps, 125. We'll do a plunge in there, should be fine. Machine sequencing, totally fine. And then our length should be good too. And then advanced feed rates and MDI should be good. Now our finish pass, I'm going to go ahead and move this to, let's see, it's looking at a 1/4 inch end mill. Nope. We want to add a tool. We're going to go to mill. And we could use MO rough or finish, does not matter one bit. I'm going to use a 1/8 this time. And we'll go ahead and set that right there. There it is right there. Again, not worried about all that. So everything looks good here. Should be fine on this. Everything looks good. We're going to just do single passes and compute. And there it is. So before I go any further on this one, I'm going to blank this one out. There's my pocket operation. And there's my profile. Okay, that's what I was kind of looking for. And I'm going to do a back plot on here and just kind of see. Okay, that's fine. I like where that's going. Good. All right, so next thing we're going to do in here is we're going to cut these out. So now I'm just going to come in here and blank this out. Machine setup 1, mill feature. We're going to do mill 2-axis again. Select geometry. And let's see. You know what? Let's hit cancel on this. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to do additional functions. I'm going to add an index. I got 2 options in there. Pick a surface or pick a UCS. We're going to pick a surface. I'm going to pick this surface right here. And then we're going to OK that. As long as the arrow's going in the right direction, we're good. So from here, now I can come in here and go mill 2-axis, select geometry. I'm going to select the bottom floor here. My top of feature is going to be this edge, and my total depth is going to be this bottom edge. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and hit next. There's my top and there's my bottom, same distance. Let's see, let's do another pocket with a profile finish. Now, I don't know how wide that is. We pretty much could probably use, I could do this in a profile and a zigzag cut, but we're going to do a little different here. So we're going to come down to here And just for fun, I'm going to change tools. And we're going to go with let's go with an 1/8 inch. We'll put it in tool 8, but now we need to change the orientation to there. And I'm going to need to -3. Looks good. That might be a little too much. I'm going to go -1. Good. And over in Z, let's go 1 inch. Looks fine. I'm just kind of guessing at this. I don't have this pretty much dialed in at all on there. I can go, let's say, 1.5. Or I can go 2 inches. That should be pretty much centered, right? Actually, it's a little over. We'll leave it as is. Good numbers. And again, I like to use 30%. Total depth, we're going to do multiples, and let's do 0.3497 divided by, I like to do 3. This one's going to take 4 cuts, that's fine. Everything else is good. And the other thing is, like I like to do in some of these things, is just kind of whiz right through them, just to kind of get a toolpath in there, see where I'm at and what I need to do in there. So I'm going to use the same tool for the finish pass. Again, got it all set up the way I need to. I'm just going to pretty much walk this one all the way through, and I'm going to hit compute. So I'm pretty happy with that. So now I got to do the same thing over here, here, and here. I can do that easy with an index, copy and paste. Index, copy and paste. Or what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make another layer here. And I'm going to blank these out here and shrink that up. Add new layer. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to create 2D. I'm going to extract edges off this again. And let's see, I'm going to take that circle right there, and I'm going to take that circle right there. Now I'm going to blank out the solid here, and I'm going to put points right in the center of them. Hover over and just left click. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go to the cam tree. And I want to count how many I got here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. So I can blank that out. So now let's go back in here, expand that. Let's add in a toolpath pattern, rotate, in 3D, and we're going to go 360 divided by 5, 72, and we want a number of copies 4. We've already made 1, we just need 4 more. Now pick our first point is going to be that point right there. Our second point, and again, you can hover over this, get your snap points if you want. And then we OK that. So you can see I drew it up one time. Made sure I got my, I could have done it either way. I could have done an index, done the same toolpath all the way around there. But I didn't do that. I ended up, getting my 2 points, my end point and my start point, or my start and end point, and then doing a toolpath pattern with a rotate, 3D rotate on there. So that takes out all the guess. And what I used to get my rotation was 360 divided by how many of those pockets I have. In this case, I had 5, which came up to 72, but I needed 4 to make 4 more copies because the one was already done already. So basically, there it all is right there. And it's just a matter of now of hitting save. Don't forget to save out. I haven't done that in a while. Going into simulation here. And it looks like I've reached my machine limits here. So this is where it's probably not rotating for me. If I take this out, post yes, no, and go into simulation, nope, it's not that either. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. So what I will do, let me do this. 6 inches, let's go out 12 inches. Two pocket. Is it this one? No, but it's a feature 2 pocket, and I bet you it's probably this index here. Yeah, it's something to do with my index here. Yeah, that's totally fine. One of my tools is not right, probably. So, let's see. Let's blank you out. Let's add. Let's go into the tool crib. That's good. Okay, so we'll come in here under multi-axis posting again. I'm going to change this to no limits, compute. Because I don't think I can have the index in there. I'll probably have to take the index out because I really don't need that in there. That's probably what it is. But I need the toolpath pattern. And you see the tool collision in there. I don't think I got it set up just right, but that's okay for this example. I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to speed that up a little bit. You can see what it's doing there. It's kind of cutting out. And then it's going to go in another layer. And it looks like my tools are not being found. So with that, I might have to go in and, you know, choose something different in there. I think I got to take out that index here. So what I might do here is I'm going to copy this, delete you out, paste the feature, reselect geometry. Nope, I need the index in there. Because it won't let me do that, so I do need the index in there. So additional functions, add an index. I need to select the index in there, and now I can paste the feature. I'll probably just have to go in and everything should be good. Yep. So yeah, with this, I'd have to index it all the way around on there, unfortunately. But that's okay. I'm not going to go in and do all that on there. Just so I can get a good, you know, toolpath on there. Now, if I go in and start simulation, I should be able to get, yeah. So I had to do something with the index or the toolpath rotation. I can't do it. I'd have to go in and actually do it this way. So let's see. Let's come down to here. You can see that being cut out. And then the final pass. There we go. So again, I would just have to come in here and, you know, there's my index, and then I'd have to come in here, and I got already in a paste feature. So additional function, add an index, pick, you know, my next surface, and then paste feature. Everything else should be good. All I need to do is right click on geometry, reselect it, select the bottom on there, and then just recompute. Now there's another option in here, especially if you got 34 in here. You can right click on feature 2 axis and you can copy with geometry. So this will be nice. So I'm going to additional function, add index, select you, and then I'm going to paste feature. Do you wish to load the top and depth of the feature? Yes. Geometry is already in there. I just need to compute. So I didn't have to do anything. Geometry is already selected for me. All I need to do is just go in and paste it in there. So that's a new feature in 34. If you have 34, that's a new nice one, especially if you're indexing or doing a lot of copy and pasting with the same geometry. You can just go ahead and do that instead on there. And we just go around and around the whole thing like that in there. So there's two different ways of doing that. So, just kind of finish it up here. Make sure you hit save every once in a while. Let's see, add an index. Okay. Paste feature. Yep, we're going to load everything else. And I'm just going to go ahead and do an additional index, and we'll just do this one now. Get that one done. Paste that in there. Say yes to that option. Compute all toolpath. Compute all toolpath. Now we got it all done in there. So now, again, hit save, start simulation. And we'll just go ahead and run this all the way through. We are going to see some crashes in there. Not worried about that because I don't have the right tool holders and stuff in there. I didn't get into that on there. I did pick collision detection. I don't know why it's not doing that, but we're fine. And you can see it going all the way through. And then it's going to go on the OD there. And we got a interruption in the tool. Looks like the tool is not set up. That's what happened there. So yeah, it's something to do actually with my simulation. Not going to get into that one too far. But yeah, then from there we just post out the G code. There it is all right there. And of course it's all longhand code and everything. So of course you're going to have a longer code. Again, not everybody has a y-axis on their machine. I didn't want to go into that one there and everything. So just keeping it all pretty generic today. But yeah, any other questions from anybody? All right, well, that's it for today. I'm pretty much done. Glad you all got to come and partake in this. If you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to give our tech guys a call. They'll be glad to help you out. If you got any online training on your account, please give us a call. We'll get you signed up for some online training. And if you want any more information on either on-sites, in-houses, or even the seminars that we're doing, please give us a call. We'll give you some pricing on that and hopefully get you in the soonest one here. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll talk to you later.